difference maker between being on blue side and being on red side here. So this should probably be Vi Ahri, unless Ultra Prime really are thinking about something else. And now OMG have the opportunity to just respond in kind in this mid jungle. Wukong very likely to come out, but it's about what Creme's mid lane pick is here into Forge.
See what they want to try and build into it. Could be a K'Sante mid, of course, but I have said it a couple of times. I feel like if you have K'Sante, you should, in all senses of the word, be giving that one over to Shanji. And maybe we get ourselves a Maokai Jace lock in here, or Tristana, which is, again, a bit of a massive flex here for OMG, because this is something that Abel has been almost exclusively playing down the bot side, but you just can't be sure whether or not that's going to be going mid or bot.
So I feel like this is a bait though, because Creme, I don't think Creme's played a single game of Tristana mid, if I remember the champion pool played. So I'd have to pull it up, because oftentimes I do just cast about the stats on the side. It's a bad habit. Whatever happened, I don't know. I'm bad with it. But I feel like this is something that is, like you mentioned, exclusively Abel's. So they are kind of holding it over Ultra Prime's face right now. I feel like it's a bit of a bait though. Hery's going to go towards this Jax. We've seen this matchup plenty of times throughout this year, and I feel like it's one that isn't necessarily a counter matchup in favor of Jax. I feel like I've seen it go both ways, but oftentimes I feel like I see the K'Sante winning out perhaps a little bit more than it deserves to. Anyway, moving towards the second stage of ban tier, Alistar again, Rel this time by OMG, so they don't want SwordArt to have access to that one. I wouldn't be surprised if we also see a Rakan ban from OMG, just because the Vi is already there. And when you've got the Vi plus the Ahri, do you really want to have to deal with more mobility? I feel like the answer is likely a no.
Yeah, I feel like it's you don't need a lot more to kind of get on top of people here. I would like to see maybe a Nautilus maybe come out here for Ultra Prime. We'll see what they want to kind of go for. They could go for a kill lane as well. If they know that Tristana's going bot side, they go Draven Nautilus. If they can get confirmation of that, we'll wait and see what OMG want to ban away. And just to confirm with you, we have had 9 games of Abel on the Tristana. It has been exclusively a bot lane pick here for OMG, not yet been picked up here by Creme, but again, can still be flexed in there. Still, especially with that Maokai being picked up, can still very much be something that comes, you know, kind of gets swapped out here, but we'll see what OMG want to do, because, you know, so far the split, they haven't played the Tristana mid, but it was something that was it being able to play it in spring and was a lot of success for OMG in their later playoff runs.
Yeah, I wonder if Abel was just hovering this just as kind of a taunt to Ultra Prime, given what happened last game, or whether this is actually finally going to be Creme piloting the Tristana. It seems like it might just be the case. This Kai'Sa goes through. Double lady carry. Okay, there you go. So Creme's finally going to take his hands onto the Tristana. Perhaps it's just been a flex all along, but every single time it's looked more favorable to go into Abel's hands. As he'll also go towards that Nautilus. So Kai'Sa Nautilus in the bottom side makes a whole bunch of sense. Ultra Prime have the ability now to go towards the Aphelios if they want it. Xayah was banned away actually by themselves, so I do anticipate that. Will be Aphelios and Ultra Prime have a very, very spring draft actually, to be fair to you, but one that is very consistent. Oh, they last swap over to the Ashe. Okay, so this is now actually a little bit more about pick for Ultra Prime. It was definitely one where if they have the Aphelios, it leans a little bit more into team fight, but now with the Crystalline Arrow, you can actually, you know, pair these up. These elements up, right? Vi plus Ashe from across map is actually something that pros used to be able to make work quite consistently. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they'll actually play that one out on the map. Whereas for OMG, a little bit more team fight heavy, double AD carry front to back, and kind of do a little bit of everything with that composition. So I'm excited to see how both these teams match up against one another.
Absolutely, and I do think that a lot of pick potential now on Ultra Prime, a lot of single target CC. You land anything, and from the Ashe to the Vi to the Ahri, you could just layer that up constantly afterwards. I will say, though, if you are not in a position, if you get one person caught out on the side of Ultra Prime, you just don't really have a way to contest anything. You look at the front line that is available here for the side of OMG. They're going to be able to just basically brute force their way forward if you're not a full 5-man unit kind of contesting from all angles. So I definitely feel like the ease of execution leans a little bit more onto OMG's composition than it does Ultra Prime. Ultra Prime going to need to be a little bit more creative and definitely a lot more kind of smooth with how they look for these transitions.
They certainly are. It's a rougher one, but I feel like the floor a little bit lower. You've got Vi, you've got Rakan. This time around, certainly easier to make a turnout play. And with the Jax, you always
hot tempoed, shall we say. And the thing is that Ning has shown, again, we talked about in the first game, how almost formulaic he and Ultra Prime like to be with these early objectives. They like to go for an early dragon. They like to transition that into an almost immediate herald afterwards. Something like the Vi does enable that, but does feel like OMG have plenty of answers to try and contest it, especially with the amount of early game CC they have available to themselves.
Yeah, do agree. The engage options from OMG very, very strong. Maokai can be a really, really big nuisance, especially to mobile champions, but just the ultimate field as well. Then the follow-up is always going to be there. Abel can dash forward. Creme can rocket jump 3 position. Ppgod. Well, he's playing Lawless, so that hook is going to hit you from Narnia, no matter what.
Unfortunately. It is, got
Do you ever
some
think,
lollipop.
Do you ever think that they'll fix how badly Lawless hook looks? You know? Like how bad some of them...
Like just the animation?
Yeah.
Ooh, double knock-up. We'll say Doggo putting in a couple of auto attacks here. Abel will cleanse away. SwordArt taking a lot of hurt here. There's going to be the ghost coming out from Doggo as he tries to chase him down. A flash away. And that's double summoners burned by the AD carry and Doggo and SwordArt, making sure that you feel the power of the Ashe in this early game.
Yeah, Ashe, permanent slow on the auto attacks. That kind of situation there for Abel, it's so difficult to ever make it out. So now he's actually going to miss a fair amount of this first wave. He'll come back to lane and start to catch up, but Ultra Prime have set themselves ahead in this bottom side of the map, and we'll see how they actually look to utilize that. No summoner spells on Abel means that he's certainly able to be picked up on by Ning in the next couple of minutes, but he is pathing away from the bottom side of the map. Actually, both our junglers are. So it seems like they are a little bit more attracted to the solo lane, to the top side of the matchup as well. One that, again, can swing both ways. It really does depend on how aggressive our laners decide to be in. Right now, they are trading very aggressively between one another.
Good to see for the moment. We'll wait to see if it does translate into any kind of meaningful advantage later on. But for the moment, the bot lane does feel like it's the key part that we're going to be looking at as usual. And even more so just because you haven't got summoners now on the Kai'Sa, which is kind of significant. Does feel like if she gets caught out here by any kind of CC, she is just going to be in such a world of pain. And already only level 1 with our first early back is that you can see that there's already starting to put in some serious hurt here onto the top, on the bot side.
Yeah, big disparity. Oh, wow. Aki's actually slipped through. And now that Hery's taking the trade the way he has, yeah. It's going to be flash at minimum.
Flash. Has to be, but is he going to go for it? They're going to get the knockback. Ooh, the Bramble Smash does keep him down there. Hery does flash away, and with Ning in tow, does not lose his life just yet. You have to be very careful in this top side. This has been a fun little adaptation we've seen as well from the side of OMG. They've always looked to try and get top side going. They're almost like when everyone was looking bot side, they were still looking top.
Yeah, and I can respect that. I think not only does it catch teams off guard, but if you're so used to, as a top laner, playing in isolation, that all of a sudden, you know, that foreign person called a jungler ends up in your lane at 3 minutes, 30
Who
seconds.
Are you on my island?
You get a little bit confused, you know? Gosh, you sound like an Englishman. Anyway, OMG, really, really nice gank to, at the very least, get Hery's flash early on. And see whether or not that can be punished. As, again, Shanji had a pretty good game number 1. It's pretty close to actually killing Hery. I think the only difference really in which they could have made it work is Aki's Q, it didn't actually get the knockback. It only really got the slow and the damage. If it gets the displacement as well, maybe, just maybe they have enough damage. As Ning is not going to get double skull. He'll be spotted out as well by the saplings. But he is passing down towards bot. He wants to make something happen, or at the very least just kind of guard off the rotation. Or maybe he gets the invade here, because Aki has unfortunately not been able to pick him up on any information at all. With the plant, other saplings. But Ning's kind of twiddling his thumbs. Not sure what to do.
Yeah.
Seems like he's just going to go back into the river.
Not quite sure where he wanted to go there. I think because he didn't have full information of where Aki was, he didn't really know. Because I think if he was on the Krugs, he maybe would have fully engaged upon him. Of course, we're still waiting for Aki to reset, so double longsword would have absolutely put Aki in a terrible situation. But you can see him there sitting on 1,000 gold as he just clears up his final camp on his full clear. He will be fully spotted out on this and just kind of hovering on this bot side to make sure Abel is still in a semi-decent spot despite the early game. And he's still going to be about 10 CS down, which is significant to say the least.
It's significant, but given where they started, you know, it could be worse. It could definitely be worse. So, I guess definitely band-aiding quite well for now. Forge getting up in the face here of Creme. I think he was anticipating he would hit level 6 in the midst of that trade and then maybe look to be a little bit aggressive. As looks like Ning, habitually as ever, he's going to start up this dragon super early on. And with lane control down here on the bottom side and a mid lane which shouldn't really see Creme move out of it. And the fact that they have a pretty good idea that Aki's on the top side, just say, yeah, this is probably a good time to start up and it will be picked up. There's not going to be any contest from anyone on OMG. That's Ultra Prime picking up that dragon and getting a stacking early on.
Oh, you see a charm land there as Creme looks to take a very decent trade. Oh my lord. Thankfully for Forge, he's got some honey fruit to keep himself safe and handy dandy. Creme does not have his Q available. Aki is in the vicinity and it's a little bit of an obvious bait if I'm being totally real with you, and that means they're going to turn back onto Ning. Flash for flash, and there's the pop. And now Forge, he's going to have the flash, but a flash bramble smash. Oh my lord. I mean, that was kind of obvious, Ultra Prime. He was letting you hit him.
You know, like when you're feeding a child and you're like, here comes the choo-choo train. Here it is. And then it's like the next spoonful is medicine, but you do the choo-choo train. That's what that felt like. You know, like, I don't know. Yeah, that felt like the world's most obvious bait. But hey, OMG, I'm going to complain. It's a kill onto Creme and a kill onto Aki. So they get the ball rolling there. And do we need a replay? I mean, it's surely you're just like, well, Aki should be on the top side. It's the entire
step.
It's the entire reason as to why you started the dragon no more than 40 seconds ago.
Yeah.
I
think the big thing for me is just the extra, like, super obvious stutter step from Creme, where he's just like, if I do this properly, like all pro players should be able to do, is that I just turn, quickly auto, and kill the minion, if that's what he wants. But then he takes like another step forward, and you can see Ning just like, almost like, you know, like just like rubbing his hands together, like that meme, the guy behind the tree, just like, ooh, yeah, that's what I want to see. That's exactly what I wanted. And then all of a sudden, oh no, not exactly what I needed. But yeah, just not a good situation there for Ultra Prime's mid and jungle. They do forfeit over 2 kills, 1 to each of the jungle and mid, respectfully, on OMG. And that means that we come back in, it's a 1,000 gold lead, and that bot lane advantage that we kind of highlighted so heavily just doesn't really make that big of a difference anymore. It does feel like it's, you know, your Ning without that flash to be able to get on top of the Kaisa is just going to be really hindered for the next few minutes.
Yeah, definitely will be. And I mean, hey, you know, you might have an AD carry that's down 25 CS in the bottom lane, but you also have another AD carry in the mid lane. So I guess for OMG, it's fine. And the thing about Kaisa, she's always going to be able to add supplemental damage to dive. So it doesn't really feel that bad. But Ultra Prime certainly want to try and make a play of their own. And maybe the flash won't matter if it's just underneath the tower.
Great cleanse, but is it going to be enough? They're going to put the flash away, and no, will not be enough to try and keep him alive. There's going to be a ghost coming in now. Ppgod in a lot of trouble. They kept the arrow right till the end, but Merc Treads, always pick up your Merc Treads, and that's going to be a nice kill back here. Good to see Ultra Prime recognizing there still wasn't a level 6 unable, so he wasn't going to have the extra dash or the extra shields. Yeah,
exactly. Just pick him off before he hits that mark. Going to be 2 levels down here once Doggo picks up this wave. Maybe Abel's quite close to level 6, but he's not level 6 yet, and that's the big thing, so feels kind of bad. Decent here from Creme to pick up another plate. They're ready to trade off, so Ultra Prime still, you know, swinging on this side. They acknowledge, yeah, he's so close. That's got to feel rough. It's just a really well timed.
2 minions.
Yeah, maybe. No, it's a little bit more. A little bit more. The cannon would have to die. Be a couple more than that because they're sharing the XP, right? If he was solo, for sure, it's about 2, maybe 3. But
and tell I'm a solo laner.
You can tell you're a solo laner. Don't you? No, you're not a solo laner. What do you play? What do you play?
I don't play anything. I don't play anything. I play Phil. I genuinely play Phil. I have about 4 champions in each role that I play, and I play everything that I can because I'm just like, you know what? It's just not worth the fight. But this might not be worth the fight, as we can see Aki kind of getting himself in a position now on the top side. Hery got to see if he can maybe go for this trade, but yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to win this one out. You're going to have the little minion going in for a touchdown. Aki with the phase rush just to make sure he gets it in. Nice little punch on the ground. Aki now 2-0-1 and building up very nicely on this Maokai.
Yeah, really, really nice on pullback there from Shanji, and fortunately has Aki in the wings, waiting. lurking, and if they want, they could actually just beeline straight to the top side and just put this Herald down, actually get some plates in. Wouldn't feel too bad. No, they're actually just both going to go for a reset. They need to find some kind of way to answer out on what's going on down here on the bottom side, though, in terms of gold, right? It's all well and good getting this one kill, but right now, Doggo is super accelerated and has a bunch of extra gold. He's going to be hitting the first couple of items well ahead of Abel. So maybe you just go towards the mid lane and get Creme accelerated as well.
It's not only just the items, it's XP as well. Just having access to, again, like it's a level and a half, maybe just under a level, or just over a level. As we come in now, he takes up that wave. But with this dragon now spawning, you will have the enchanted crystal arrow available. Remember, no summoners on anyone on the bot side here for OMG. They have still got a flash available for Doggo should he get caught out, but that ultimate for Maokai going to be coming in very, very soon. They're going to be a hook in. They're going to try and burst out Ppgod, and they will. Now they can turn straight back onto Creme, who's been charmed and has nowhere to go. OMG just so lackadaisical, but now here comes the Cassante, and Ning has already gone down. Shanji moving forward, wants to try and pick up Doggo, who still has flash. He flashes just to make sure that Q3 does not land. Shanji in to save the day, but it does have an equal and opposite reaction because topside's free farming for Jax.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? I'm not entirely sure why OMG are looking to wholly contest this when they know that Doggo is so much more powerful right now. And just generally, the Ultra Prime bottom side is the strong side of the map. But they do it anyway, and like you mentioned, because Shanji makes this roam happen, he sacrifices a lot of the lead he just had, right? A lot of XP missed, a lot of waves, but crucially, and honestly, far more importantly, plates as SwordArt is going to be alright. He's just going to dash out and walk away. So yeah, Hery now kind of gets back into the game. I wouldn't be surprised if he bases, given his components. He might almost have a Sunderer. Like, it's not unreasonable at this point in the game. As, yeah, Ultra Prime finding a gauge here onto Ppgod. Creme is then the next person to be targeted, and immediately the Ash Arrow comes through just to keep the chain TC. It's pretty impossible for him to ever move. And then, yeah, again, I understand why OMG are in the position they're in, but they shouldn't really be looking to jostle for vision yet. They want to see people react to this Herald being dropped down. Unfortunately, as we come out of the replay for them, they're actually able to get back into the river, and they're able to pick up this dragon, so they split it apart. Ultra Prime won't get the stacking going, and it will be a mountain, Rift and Soul, so a lot of tankiness on offer can certainly help just about every champion in this game, right? Dealing with diving in themselves. Solid dragon to have, but definitely feels a little bit bad for Ultra Prime Machine to actually not pick that one up.
Yeah, it really does, especially because I think the big key thing was we saw is that when Ning dies, you can't contest it because Aki was still available. It would have just been a straight up, you know, gift over to the Maokai. So really cannot be risking that one. And unfortunately for Ultra Prime, it meant that they had to just forfeit the river control. They had to get themselves back on the map and deal with all these pushing waves. That's a how is it a 2-level lead in the top side right now? Maybe only a level, yeah. Treble 10 just hit there, but still, despite the amount of free time that Hery had, you know, kind of top side, he's still 30 CS down.
4,000 something HP, armor, 315 mana cost, whatever.
I need to call Kitty. I think it's like Cassante, 4,700.
I know Kitty knows it off the top of her head.
She does. Kitty knows it. Yeah. Kitty knows it by heart. She's like a national anthem for Kitty in her chat, I believe. But I think it's like 329 armor, 200 hit, MR, shield that goes shields, airborne. I don't know all of it. I know a little bit of it, but not all of it.
Showmaker's so funny, isn't he? That's where that comes from, if you don't know. If
yeah,
you've seen this copy passed up, and you're like, man, that's really creative, where did it come from? It just came from Showmaker being angry at Cassante existing. That's it. That's all it was.
You know what? I'm a Showmaker fan. You know, man's got ideas.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Showmaker's my goat. How did that happen?
Yeah.
So much creativity.
That easy. It's almost like people saying "goat" about a cast, like about a player or a caster, and like that is incredibly fickle and in the moment, mad. Anyway,
yeah, I do agree. People, I mean, I've been doing it a lot recently, but I use it less as like
your goat changes every bloody week. Like,
no, whoa. Firstly, my goat.
You turned your back on Rookie.
No,
I was there on Twitter.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
You 180'd and then you 180'd again, so it was a 360 and you faced him.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to face Rookie. He's a very handsome person.
I wouldn't. He'd kick my ass. Face him in League of Legends? No way. I would get destroyed.
No, look. Anyway, I have a soft spot for Ricky. He was one of my favorite mid laners when I used to main mid back in the day. When he won with IG. That's why. That's what it was.
5 years ago.
5 years ago. Yeah.
5 years ago, the crownless were kings. Great call.
Wow. Oh, goodness me, Yashin, your memory, man.
Oh man, I have such incredibly weird memory when it comes to caster calls. Like I have so much like good memories of certain little things. It's awesome though. It's awesome to have it, you know, available to kind of go for it. But now we can bring ourselves back into the game a little bit. We can talk about where the items are right now because funny enough, despite Abel being put down so far, he's got a static shift. He's actually going for the AP Kai'Sa build. I actually have no problem with this in this particular instance because you've got the Tristana and the Cassante already. You are lacking a little bit of that magic damage, so having that available to you and also just straight up the wave clear is just really nice to have. So really, you know, kind of good adaptation I would feel coming out here from Abel to try and make sure that he's not falling too far behind because again, crit items, they're expensive.
Yeah, build path a little bit cheaper, and I think just generally it makes a lot of sense, right? It also means that as Archie, you no longer have to like kind of full commit maybe to a full AP build just to try and balance it out if you're worried about armor being stacked up. In this kind of game, I feel like armor stacking wouldn't be too big an issue, but again, you never really want to have to deal too much with it, right? As, ooh, Creme, will that cannon get it off? It will! Oh, man.
Good man.
Give that cannon a contract.
Yep, MVP. MVP. See, that's the thing. If I know if I was to give like MVPs, because obviously ours don't count for anything, I would just be trolling so hard. I just feel like that cannon was MVP, you know, like things like that, and just like have like the PNG of the cannon that took down the tower. That to me was very fun. But now Ppgod. Oh, never mind. Oh, never mind.
Okay, I mean,
flash for
flash is good. I mean, because Aki has flash himself, and not only that, Doggo doesn't have cleanse, so diving this guy pretty easy actually. He is the strongest member on Ultra Prime by a country mile. OMG are going to get this tower, so they ideally want to let this charge in. It should do it. Shouldn't be killed. So damage on the tier 2 is going to feel nice. It's not the best use of the Herald in the world, but it might allow them to actually catch this wave up quite high as well. There's no threat of a flank for now, but Hery is actually coming up through the river, so that could be a problem. OMG need to track that. Not get collapsed on too easily here. They should know he's on the way. Oh, they're looking for the engage.
Arrow goes wide. Yeah, they're going to try and all in onto Abel. He will be killed off straight away. But look at Creme just pumping in damage. A flash and a dash keeps Forge alive. But now he's completely isolated away from the fight. Ning flashes away as Shanji has found himself in the fight. They're moving in. They're pulling them all back. You cannot give this man this champion. He enables everything OMG wants. And now Hery just going to put down a little bit of a counter-strike. Tries to make it work, but it's just not going to happen. Triple kill for Creme, but Shanji, what a beast!
Someone needs to get Kitty on the court. That's all I'll say. We need some recitations of that copy pasta. What a monster in this team fight. It's a good engage, actually, from Ultra Prime. I think the first arrow goes wide, and that feels a little bit bad here, but they understand, just because they know they've got Hery on the collapse. Dodges out, recognizes he's up against the wall, flashes over, thinks he's safe, but then collapse comes through. This is why I made the call. Maybe you want to get rid of the Rakan, just because the follow-up can be so insane. But Creme goes untouched the entire time machine whilst that's going on. And eventually Shanji starts to pop off, finds Ning, W blocks the CC. Actually, I think he punched it with the W dash. I'm not even sure if it was unstoppable. Either way, doesn't get hit by the Grand Entrance knock up. And then, again, it just buys space for Creme to cut through the health bars very efficiently because of how far ahead he is right now. Excellent team fight from OMG, even after losing Abel so quickly in that team fight.
And this is the thing, it's like, yeah, you all in onto Abel, but I'll stop myself because we're seeing an all in on the bot side there. Creme gonna hop down after the fact as Forge is TP'd in. There's the Bramble Smash to come down. Charm in here, but here's the real threat in this. You try to flash, but you cannot dash away from Destiny. Shanji will always find his man. Now Forge dashing in, trying to see if he can make this play work, but Ultra Prime, they got lost in the sauce. And OMG have a cook. They know exactly how they want this to go. Doggo isolated by Shanji as he goes all out onto the backside. They will get a charm, but it's still a Cassante. He's still 1v1ing. Under tower, what is this champion? What is going on? Shanji completes the clean ace, and this champion is busted.
Shanji will not yield, but I think Ultra Prime might be very soon. It's a 7k gold deficit now. And it all kicks off because Hery just looks for the 1v1 on Creme. It turns into an all-out 5v5 on the bottom side of the map. So, I tell a lie. It was Creme looking for the engage onto Hery.
Yep.
Hery turns it around. Creme loves to be melee range. Sometimes he forgets, you know. It's not necessarily his forte, Tristana, but Aki comes in. Sapling slows down Hery. And even though Aki gets charmed, he gets in range just in time for the split advance. You mentioned, and then Shanji finishes him off. At this point, Ultra Prime are all here, ready to collapse. Who do they go onto? They actually... So it's a bit split, because they first go onto Shanji, then they try and go onto Creme, but Creme can reposition with a rocket jump. Abel's not being focused, and whilst all of that's going on, hello, there's a burglar in your backyard. Shanji kidnaps Doggo, takes him through the closet to Narnia. Creme is in trouble, but how much trouble is he in actually? Never mind, not really. Shanji.
Shanji, not going to have enough there, but again, just great kind of AP damage coming out. This game, this series feels like it's already done and dusted, but yeah, I mean, what? Again, I know I'm memeing. We obviously love to talk about K'Sante, but Shanji really makes this champion look busted. He is so good at everything he needs to be when this champion comes into the Rift. He just kites it so beautifully. 3-0 and 9. The man's a monster.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous, Oisin. Wish we could see K'Sante performances like this all the time.
No, he'll be kneecapped soon.
That he will. That he will. I'm still very curious about what they're going to do to K'Sante, because he is incredibly pro-skewed. Like, more so than I feel like a lot of champions have been historically. Like, I think he's at an even worse level in my mind than Azir. If you remember, Azir was terrible in solo queue for a really long time.
True.
Whilst basically being borderline pick ban, and he's in a very similar state right now. How the hell does Creme not die here for that? That's crazy. The re-engage is good. Ppgod finds Dredgeline onto Forge as well. Yeah, no Spirit Rush left. Good stuff, because yeah, K'Sante, if you guys don't know...
I thought he was just going to walk
so
up
did
and
I.
take that
So
tower.
did
I was like,
so
oh my
did
lord. Go on. What were you saying?
He sucks in solo queue. He's got like a 42% win rate in mid. I think it's like 44 or 45 in top. Last time I checked. That was 13-12. I don't know if it changed on this patch. But in pro, he's ridiculous.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it does make you wonder, how do you even change a champion like this, who fits two classes? Oh yeah, that looks... Oh. Huh?
Right. You're going to go for a little bit of engage here, but again, you got the Maokai, so the Nature's Grasp just does exceptionally well to keep them on. Ppgod gets caught out, but again, not the biggest target in the world. If you're investing everything to kill off the support, it's not really going to be worth it. K'Sante is eventually taken down, and finally, OMG have taken down the raid boss. We will see Creme jumping back over the wall. I am not quite sure what OMG were planning to do.
No.
But that's
there
an
was
ace.
a plan. There was a plan. Okay, look. What happened with Shanji's ultimate? Because it didn't bring Ning over the wall, but it brought Shanji over. We need a replay. We need... If I'm...
Ning's
I
ult
would
is down, so
maybe...
yeah, here we go.
Pause. No, I would pause if I was... Look at this.
Here we go.
So, is it because of the base gate?
It's just... I think it's because... Yeah, maybe the base gate?
Does the base gate make that... Oh,
because technically Ning doesn't see a wall there. But...
Wow.
Yeah.
No, because there's some instances, like Poppy E, for example, you can get stunned into the base gate as far as I'm aware, because it's coded as terrain for Poppy, but that looked really odd. That looked really, really odd, but I don't want to go as far as saying it causes this fight to happen the way it does.
No.
But
they're in a choke.
It didn't give them the best start, alright? Ultra Prime don't care, though. They'll take whatever they can get right now. And
yeah,
I'm sorry, that's a really perplexing moment. I have not seen K'Sante ever do that, but perhaps it was just where exactly that all happened with the base gate. That's the only thing I can theorize in my mind.
And look, it doesn't really change the scope of the game. It's great for Ultra Prime. They get themselves a Mountain Dragon, extra little bit of stats, nice. I will say that it builds off of the stats you naturally build. It's a percentage of the stats you have in terms of your armor and magic resistance, and I'm looking down the line. Not a lot of armor or magic resistance for anybody, really. You've gone pretty bruisery, if I'm being totally honest. But I will say Forge now 3 items, which is pretty significant. With that Cosmic Overdrive and the Void Staff, he will blow somebody up. And Hery has a TP opportunity. Thank you, observers, for showing us.
That is a unique ward. You do not see that ward every now.
No, you never sweep that.
Never. You never sweep that. So let's see if Hery actually can find the angle. He's going to
Here
find
we
it
go.
now.
They get the buffer on the CC, but they're going to jump onto
Creme's
Creme,
dead.
who's already getting taken out. But does he fall down? That's the question. Flash for flash. Counter-Strike does take him out. He's the first casualty of war. Shanji on the backside will go all out to try and take out Doggo, but he's isolated, and everyone's kind of a little bit all over the place right now. Shanji, though, looking for more. Shanji in a 1v3. I still believe he might be able to do it because he's got the shield, but he doesn't quite do it. You always have to believe, but that is still just a respite here for Ultra Prime. Their base is still in tatters, and there's nothing for them to take.
Yeah, nothing for them to get. And that's the unfortunate side of this back-to-back comeback team fight here for Ultra Prime, is it's just gold. Gold, however, you'll certainly take in this scenario. OMG, caught out by a very, very unique ward here from Ultra Prime. I have to just give them credit for it entirely. I'm not sure who placed it. My guess is probably just SwordArt, but yeah, engage comes through. Arrow is rocket jumped, and after the back of it, just Hery to clean up. And as soon as Creme's out of the picture, Abel is strong, but he's not as strong as Creme. And Shanji is just in the back line, trying to do what he can against SwordArt and against Forge here. Unfortunately, the rest of his team falls a little bit too fast for him to make work back line here, and he does fall in the end.
Come back into live. Now it's a 3,000 gold lead. Still very much the state of the map in favor of OMG, but Ultra Prime, but a couple more plays like that could definitely see themselves making their way into a much more favorable position. And look at the stopwatch. They have effectively four stopwatches, including that Zanya is built up for Hery to kind of work with into the next fight, whereas is just the one here for Creme. Really, really need to be very careful here for OMG if they don't want to let this game kind of slip away. And that's what it feels like it's happening right now. It feels like the longer this goes, the more we start to talk about the, the advantages that are being built up here by, Ultra Prime to get themselves back into the game, the more we start to get a bit nervous here for OMG. Cassante is great, but it can only do so much.
I don't know what you mean. It's 1v9 this. Let's see, though, if Shanji can make that one work. If he can get one of the higher value targets out of the fight, it's a pretty big deal. Re-engage now.
It's gonna be the Nature's Graph down.
Oh,
Baron's dead.
Wow, Baron's dead. Wow.
You got double AD carry, even though technically the not gonna call myself, but even though technically the Kiss has gone AP, Guinzu's and her passive make that a very easy objective to take. And now Ultra Prime, they need to reset, get themselves back out to their lanes, make sure they don't let these minions hit their Nexus turrets, or even the inhibitor that has just respawned.
Yeah, exactly. Feels bad for Ultra Prime, but I'm not really sure there's much they could have done in this situation. Maokai ultimate field is a little bit too big to get through unless you're approaching from multiple angles. So OMG, do the correct thing, look for the turn, kind of bait it, but just keep the AD carries on the Baron. Really smart stuff. They lock down the objective, and now they can just look to regain the inhibitor on the bottom side, try and pick up this tier 3 in the mid lane. Maybe even end the game if they find one good fight and they're in the position for it. Either way, plenty of options. Dragons up as well if they want to play it super safe. Waves a little bit scattered, though this mid lane wave and the bottom side wave can actually be synced up right now if Shanji goes towards it, but they don't really want to risk being split up and then being engaged on by Ning and by SwordArt, so they just want to group up as 5. Keep their eyes on everybody and ensure that they know just about where everyone is. They can break this tower.
Nice buffer. Here we go. They're going to fully go in, but there's the stopwatch that we talked about. The Creme getting the use out of it by Ning not getting his ultimate, and yeah, it was more an inevitability. Shotgun into the box side. There's going to be a triple kill. Could we see Abel getting himself a penta? He's got a quadra, and he needs to find SwordArt. Will he be able to get any more damage? That's the question. They need minions. They need some kind of protection from these Nexus turrets, but I don't think they're going to be able to get a penta. It's a quadra. Pentas are earned, not given, and that's going to be the series in the game going over to the side of OMG.
Good stuff from OMG. There's a relatively clean snowball, a couple of hiccups here and there. I think one to a very interesting interaction and another to a very, very intelligent ward from Ultra Prime, but OMG sweep this series clean. It was a pretty good one for game number 2. Game number 1, a little more hard earned, I'd have to say. Ultra Prime gave them a little more fight. This time around, though, OMG really did ensure that they would secure their 8th win of the series, of the season here.
And that's a huge moment now for the side of OMG.